Good day, this is Mike McDonough, Senior Consultant and Architect at Stone Door Group. Today's demonstration will show how Ansible Automation Platform and Dynatrace can be used together to automatically detect and remediate change-induced service outages. In addition, we'll show how the solution can be tied into an incident management system, in this case, ServiceNow. Before we take a look at how the solution is built, I'd like to show you how the solution works. For this demonstration, we have an Apache web server running as a simple web page with some of our company logos on it. Go ahead and refresh that to show that the web server is up. And we have our Dynatrace agent installed on the web server. In this case, it's a Red Hat Enterprise Linux server running, again, Apache or HTTPD. Our Dynatrace console is showing us information about the process, response time. We have some synthetic transactions making requests to the web page. So we see that memory usage, worker process, and in this case, everything is reporting okay, no problems. So in this scenario, our developers are pushing out a change to our web server configuration. And in this case, we're going to show what happens when that change does not go according to plan. So we've got an Ansible job template. Pull that up. This is our initiate change job template. This is our basically replicates the process of a developer or development group pushing out a change to the configuration. We're going to run this job. Now, in this case, we know this job has been specifically designed, so we'll see the results here momentarily. Ansible job is now running, and you'll see in just a moment that it will update the http.conf file and then try to restart the service. Now, in this case, we've engineered the playbook to intentionally break the service. So this next task we should see show up in red in a fatal error indicating that the service restart actually failed, which of course makes sense because that's what the playbook was designed to do. Obviously, in your environment, most of these, most of your application deployments would hopefully work. But again, the scenario is to really hone in on the changes that cause problems, right? That's the whole point of this exercise. So if we come back to our web server here, the reload button, we'll see that it's down, which makes sense because the HTTP service failed to restart. And we can now take a look at our Dynatrace console, and we should see momentarily that the couple of things show up in our event log, new events. So first of all, Dynatrace does know now about the configuration update, and the reason for that is that our initiate change playbook made an API call to Dynatrace to inform it of the change. We see some information about the that was passed over, entity, description of the change, updating our http.conf file, and some metadata information along with a ServiceNow incident number that was created in association with this particular change. So if we click reload, we should see that the process is identified as having an outage momentarily. So if we click the reload button here, we'll see that Dynatrace has detected the error. We have a red process problem. Apache web server has been detected as down. And if we look at our events here, we see a couple of things. So first of all, the change happened at 20:09, so about 9 after the hour. Then we hit notification the process has been shut down, configuration remediate changed, and process restarted. If we come back and look at our Ansible job logs, we'll see a number of things here. So starting back, here's our initiate change playbook run. This is what actually broke the Apache web server. Then we see a couple of, these are some auto remediation playbooks. These jobs were initiated from Dynatrace via an API call to Ansible Automation. And then it initiated our rollback playbook. And the rollback playbook actually undid the change that we had made through initiate change, basically restoring our web server configuration. So if we come back to our web server, click, and if we refresh our Dynatrace console again, we'll see that this problem, we can do a couple of things here. We can acknowledge the problem, take a look at it, process availability, and deep dive into our problems here, a particular service outage, or we can let that time out, and eventually that'll roll off the list of active here. Notice now the problem's gone, everything's blue, and if we look at our events, showing clean on the event side as well. In addition to Ansible Automation Platform and Dynatrace, we also have ServiceNow integrated into the solution, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation. If we take a look at our ServiceNow console, look at the incidents here, you'll see a number of incidents have been created. You'll see they're in pairs, one for update and one for rollback. These, of course, the behavior with ServiceNow would be customized for your requirements in a real world implementation. In our case, though, we're just creating one incident for the update and another for a rollback. In a real world scenario, that rollback incident should probably be assigned to your development team to look into the cause of the HTTP service failure and look into the problem, identify the root cause, and then roll that change back out. Let's now take a closer look at how the solution was built. So we have a number of templates here for Dynatrace, a couple for installing the agents on our test servers, and then we have our initiate change and rollback change playbooks. Take a look at the initiate change playbook. This is calling a playbook called SDG initiate change Apache. And I have that playbook pulled up here. This presentation is not a deep dive on Ansible, but wanted to hit on a couple of topics here that you're working on this sort of integration yourself in the future. This is at the top here, standard Apache, changing the http.conf file, using their template module, creating our ServiceNow incident. Here's the part though that's important. Ansible to Dynatrace integration relies on setting tags, and these tags provide context to Dynatrace. So, after our change is made, Ansible is making an API call to our Dynatrace API URL, feeding it into the event API endpoint, and it's feeding it some tags, including our configuration tag key, tag values. These tags allow Dynatrace to associate changes made by an external system, in this case Ansible, with its configuration. If we come back and look at our Ansible automation platform, look at our templates again, let's take a quick look at our rollback change. It's calling a playbook, guess what? SDG rollback change Apache. I've got that pulled up. This is similar. ServiceNow incident, in this case creating it at the beginning, restarting Apache or new template in, and then restarting the service. And then it's informing Dynatrace that the rollback has been completed, again passing in tags which consist of a key and a value pair, and again these tags are key to the integration between Dynatrace and Ansible.